it's not easy. Like I said, you want to go with the emotion. Everything about you wants to go with it, but you can't. Mm-hmm. You can't go with it. It's not gonna make anything better. It's actually gonna make everything worse. So if you can kind of look at it that way. And then also talking about your emotions is not easy. It's vulnerability. It makes you feel really raw. Mm-hmm. And then you don't know if the other person is going to comfort you in that emotion. So you almost have to make an agreement with your partner that if I'm really, feeling something, I need you to either be the calm person in the room, mm-hmm. or you might have to go with me this time. You might have to sympathize with me and go with me until I can get out of this emotion. We do it at funerals. Mm-hmm. That's a place where if one person's upset, you wrap your arms around them and you try to comfort them. But when you're in a fight, it's a lot harder to look at your partner and say, I'm going to help you through this emotion.
Right, which is why I'm not a big fan of fighting. I don't think, all this stuff about fighting fair, again, a topic for another day. It's that word fight. And so part of this, and what I'm hearing is that we need to be more comfortable with being vulnerable and asking for what we need from our partners. And sometimes this can be a conversation outside of the moment. In fact, it's usually more helpful if it is outside of the moment. Mm-hmm. But if I can say, hey, I'm having a really hard time and I'd really like a sounding board, is that possible right now? Could I get that? But again, it's practice. It's not being so terrified of our feelings, and which is sometimes easier said than done. Especially the more difficult ones. And do you recommend journaling?
Journaling is my best friend.
Okay.
Journaling is my best friend. I get a lot of my emotions out in my journal. Yeah, sometimes getting it out of your head is a great thing because we tend to ruminate, mm-hmm. where we just, you're spending all day cursing out that person that, cut you off in the morning, and by 9 o'clock at night, you've had a whole conversation with that person. It's a lot better to just sit down and write out, what am I feeling? And that actually might help you come to the actual emotion that you're feeling that you're not aware of. Mm-hmm. I think women tend to do this better than men. We speak in circular speech until we understand what we're actually feeling, and men don't do that. So it might be challenging at first, but as you do more and more, it'll get a little bit easier to get to that emotion. It might take a long time, and then all of a sudden you'll find like months down the road that you can easily identify what it is in the moment. Another tool that I use in my relationships is we number the feeling. So if we're having a disagreement and I'll say, is this a 10 for you? Because it's a 3 for me. Mm-hmm. So if it's a 10 for you, then I am not going to fight you on this because it's a 3 for me. I don't care about this as much as you do. Mm-hmm. That has saved many disagreements.
I love it. I love it. And Dyanne, this has been absolutely fantastic. Where can people learn more about you, about your book, about all this stuff that you write about? Because you're dead on with this.
Oh, thank you. So I'm on Facebook. So it's Dyanne Brown on Facebook. And then you can also find me on Instagram at author Dyanne Brown. And again, Dyanne. I know it's a little different.
Right there with you.
And yeah, I'd love to see people and interact. And I also write on goodmenproject.com. And I post that on a biweekly or weekly basis.
Terrific. So the truth of the matter is, people, we all have emotions, and they run the gamut from pleasant ones, happiness, joy, love, to harder ones, hurt, fear, frustration. You can't shut down the ones you don't want to have without shutting down the ones that you do. And the better option, as we've been talking about today, is to learn how to feel all of them in a healthy and accepting way. And so hopefully you've gotten some good ideas about how to do that. Then the question you need to ask yourself is, what would help you get started? And I hope you keep listening to the show. And until next week, stay loving.